enjoy their summer, of course. Look forward to working with you, all of you, as we get into the swing of things with another season of community boards coming back into full swing. Opening this meeting, I would like to introduce the New York, New Jersey 2026 World Cup Host Committee, who will be presenting on the upcoming FIFA World Cup next summer. The presentation will discuss the New York, New Jersey. I gotta get used to saying New Jersey. Yeah, New York, New Jersey 2026 World Cup Host Committee production of local fan engagement events during the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup. The presentation will highlight local marketing campaigns to promote Queens destinations and businesses to World Cup visitors. The World Cup is the biggest tournament and sporting event in the world, featuring 48 national teams with over 6 million fans expected to attend matches in the U.S. The tournament is a month running from Thursday, June 11th through Sunday, July 19th. In total, New York, New Jersey will host 8 matches, including the final. This is a massive opportunity for positive economic impact through millions of tourists and visitors, especially being that we host both airports. I don't think anybody wants to travel through Newark, but LaGuardia and JFK. Opportunities for local businesses and organizations to get involved. Watch parties, fan zones and promotional events, cultural showcases, exposure with international media, and pop-up community celebrations are all great possibilities. Following this presentation, we'll go to Q&A. Representing the World Cup Host Committee, we have Bruce Redman, co-host city manager for the World Cup Host Committee. Thank you for joining us, Bruce, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Borough President. Can everybody hear me okay? Yes. Okay. This is one of the nice meetings for me to have because I can share so much is actually going to be happening in the borough that I'm speaking in. And I'll share a lot of that with you all. But as the borough president shared, what's happening next summer is a very, very big deal. It will be the biggest event, not just sporting event, biggest event to come to our region ever. While the Men's World Cup was here in '94 at the old New York Giants Stadium, we didn't have the finals, and this event has the World Cup has exponentially grown to the number of nations that are participating from 32 to 48, from 64 games to 104 matches, to 11 U.S. cities, 5 other cities in Canada and Mexico, 16 in all. But suffice to say, because New York and New Jersey, but I'll emphasize New York, because we have the finals on July 19th, the world will be watching. Now, the beautiful thing about the World Cup, because it does go on for 39 days, and we only have 8 matches, only. We have 8 matches in New York, New Jersey. I say only, it's still a lot. What do you do when you come here, and what do you want to do for the other 31 days? We're hoping to attract a world audience to certainly New York City, and we hope that they will get excited about exploring other parts of the city, other parts of our region. But if they don't, we will be prepared to excite them through fan engagement, watch parties, festivals, everything you would expect a city to offer when they're hosting a major sporting event. Part of the requirement when you become a host city with FIFA is that you need to have fan engagement that is up and running for the days that you have matches. Well, unlike any other city, we said, well, that's not enough for New York, New Jersey. So we will have fan engagement, and I'll go through that with you in a moment, for all 39 days. I will share that our major FIFA fan festival that we are partnering with FIFA will be at Liberty State Park, simply because we needed about 1 million square feet. There is no place in the city and really in the 5 boroughs with the kind of access and the kind of protection, semi-infrastructure. The Liberty State Park is really an open place, an open field, but could afford us that luxury of 39 or 40 days at a investment which the host city could afford. Couple things about the host city. We're a 501c6. We do not work for FIFA. We are a separate host organizing committee that came through an alignment with New York City Hall and the state of New Jersey, New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority, the NJSCA. We were formed 2 years ago. One of the requirements when you win a bid, if you do not have a pre-existing entity that can accommodate a big event like a sports commission or an existing host organizer committee, you have to establish one. So we did. I was actually the first employee, and I've been working on this for about 6 years. So again, delighted to be here because so much is going to be happening here. Ebony and Phil and I have been talking for, gosh, the last year and a half on all different ideas. Some things are easier to get done than others, and while we're not driven purely by finances, we do eat what we kill. We do have some investment from the city of New York, the state of New York, and the state of New Jersey, but we are largely driven by the funds that we raise, either through sponsors and or donors. So what we want to do is make sure that every check we send, we can cash, or it can be cashed. At the end of the day, we hope to have no money in the bank account, not because we don't have any money left over and it's not coming in, but because it's been invested in legacy and other things for me in particular for New York City, okay? So we have a little presentation that we put together. Now, this has actually gone out to a lot of different businesses, communities, bids, in the tri-state area, frankly, that is very in the weeds. I don't expect everybody to be looking at this and understanding everything. I'm not going to go over everything, but I want to share what we're doing with different communities, how you can get engaged, what those rules of engagement are. I will also caution you that FIFA is very protective of their marks or their IP and their relationships with other companies that have invested millions and millions in dollars with them. As a host committee, we basically are stewards for those agreements as well, that we signed on and said we will protect your IP. We will protect those relationships you have with your sponsors. We hope they become our sponsors, but we will not do any ambush marketing. We will not throw those IP and marks out in a way that's inconsistent and improper with the relationships that you have. The host committee also has its own marks that we need to protect as well. That's the valuation of working with the host committee, is marks that no others can get unless you have the opportunity to or want to pay for them. So a little bit of the background behind what we're doing in the region. So this is what we call our toolkit. And again, I can send this to you, or we can send this to you electronically. There are links in here that give you more deeper information on everything from how to apply for a public viewing license to what IP applies where and where you can use a logo and where you cannot. But again, this is designed to take everybody who's interested in learning and then potentially taking advantage of the opportunity next summer, a walkthrough of what you can and cannot do. You good? So this, again, the guideline of this toolkit takes you everything from what we're all about to our host committee who's in charge, key tournament dates, which is very important, I'll go over with you all, the milestones. We have about 270 days left. If you were in and around Manhattan in June, you saw we did a lot of takeovers right in the heart of the city in Times Square. We did something downtown. At One World, we lit up a lot of buildings throughout the 5 boroughs and New Jersey. So milestones are very important to the host committee and to the region. And then we'll take you through different ways that you can celebrate locally, again, how to use our logo and the branding, and how to connect with us. So as I shared, the host committee is leading this charge here. Somebody asked me, I came from NYC Tourism. I was one of the managing directors there on the sports side and partnerships, and somebody asked me if I was doing the World Cup full-time. I kind of laughed. I said, well, if you call 7 days a week full-time, I guess, yes, the World Cup is a full-time job. We now have 25 people. As I said, I was employee number 1. We had about 4 people for about a year, and we've really ramped up in the last 8 months. We have 4 pillars that we stand on with the host committee. It's safety and security, it's mobility, it's fan engagement, and it's legacy. The last one, to me, is very important. One of the things that we promised when we started the host committee is that we wanted to build 26 mini pitches in New York, New Jersey, in underserved neighborhoods, areas where kids may be playing soccer or even basketball on a hard top that's cracked, that has weeds growing out of it. If you know locations, we have scouted this city, and we're working very closely with the Department of Education. If you have locations, please let us know, okay? This is what our donor effort is all about, is to find these locations that could use some love. And it's a mini pitch that has a 10-year warranty. It also comes with lights. It comes with a fence around it. I can share images of what that looks like. We're doing our first one in the Bronx and also in Newark, New Jersey. And we're going to be building those starting in April of next year. The reason why we're not doing the installations between now and April is largely due to the weather. We want to have dry, certain kind of weather when we lay down the surface, and it's a hard, true court that if anything cracks or breaks, you replace pieces as opposed to the whole surface. And it's a mini pitch, about the size of a tennis court. Okay. As I said, our objectives, what we're all about. We want the world to experience the energy, creativity, and hospitality of New York, New Jersey. When we won the finals a little over a year ago, it took FIFA about 18 months to make the decision between us and Dallas. We were the two finalists between us and Dallas. We won the finals, and we said to, actually even said this to the president, Gianni Infantino of FIFA, I said, this will be the best decision you ever made, and you should have made it 18 months ago. New York, New Jersey stands out for all the reasons that we're all proud about living and working here. And we are leaning into our diversity. That is really critical to us. But when you lean into diversity, and when you lean into infrastructure, and when you lean into everything that this region has to offer, being a top media capital, top cultural capital, top business capital, we just couldn't understand why it took them so long. And we will make them proud, because that's what we do here in New York. It isn't just a big event, as I shared. This is a huge opportunity. And while the host committee cannot lead everybody to the water, to the promised land, what we want to do is get everybody excited and give them the ideas of the possibilities of things that they can do. We always say to businesses, and I will tell you, my stance has had to change a little bit in the last 5 years. When I first started this work for NYC Tourism, and I would speak, my philosophy is, how can we all help, how can we, and we weren't even the host committee yet, but how can the effort to secure the bid help you with your business? And now we realize that all we can do, because it's so massive, the opportunity, what can we share with you? What do you need to know to drive your own business? What tools, like this toolkit, can we give you in advance so that you understand the opportunity at hand? The people will be here. We're expecting 1 to 2 million people coming to our region. We're expecting almost $3 billion in economic impact, okay? That's with a B, it's not with an M, okay? That's a lot of economic impact. And that wasn't done by us, that was done by Tourism Economics, folks that actually work very closely with NYC Tourism. You've probably seen all their data. They are so reliable. We actually did one 2 years ago with McKinsey. We took all the information that we've learned when we started that in 2023, and we revised it for 2025, which reflects winning the finals. So it's not a Bruce Revman AI-generated economic impact. It was done by Tourism Economics, about $3 billion to the region. And it's not falling in central Manhattan, I promise you. Oh, the last two that I wanted to go back on is, as I said, a safe, secure, and accessible World Cup experience. Accessibility means a lot of things to a lot of different people. To us, it means anybody who wants a chance to get to an event that we've thought about them, how to get there. And mobility and logistics is critical for our region, as we know. If somebody is here in Queens and they're going to go to MetLife. And by the way, MetLife's name will change. It will become the New York, New Jersey Stadium. So when people say we're going to the New York, New Jersey Stadium, you haven't missed something in the news that a new stadium was built. It's MetLife. Boston, and Gillette Stadium in Boston, it's Boston Stadium. SoFi Stadium in LA Stadium. That's a requirement with FIFA. So they're serious about this stuff, as you can see. So mobility, accessibility, mobility, logistics, critical to getting, having an effective 5 weeks. We're spending a lot of time and a lot of money on planning and strategy. We've actually been working with a company called ARUP, A-R-U-P, very well known here in New York City, very well known in New Jersey. We actually have their staff embedded in one of our offices in New Jersey to game out everything that we need to game out with New Jersey Transit, the Turnpike, MTA, DOT. It is probably the most comprehensive effort we have because we all know the challenges of getting to a stadium. You have a great event, you watch the match, you watch a football game, and what do you talk about? The 3 hours it took you to get home. That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to the host committee, so we're trying to make sure that while there may be some delays, that you plan for them and it's not excessive. And then soccer unites people. This is a great game. I did not know a lot about football, this soccer, until about 6-7 years ago. I've traveled the world as a result of doing a lot of operational visits. I was in Qatar, I was in Berlin, and I will tell you, I'm more fascinated by what happens off the pitch, the religion of soccer. It is absolutely amazing. And I think here in Queens, if anybody, pardon me? It is, and especially here. This is the epicenter of football world. Some key dates coming up. And probably this is the matches, but probably another date that's coming up that you'll see in our milestone sheet is probably even the most important one coming up in December. But this will give you a sense of the dates from what we're doing here in New York, New Jersey. The first 3 stages are group stages, where teams don't get knocked out right away. They play 3 games. Then we go to the quarterfinals, semis in Dallas, third place playoff game the Saturday before the finals, and then the finals here on July 19th. Most games in New York, New Jersey will be played somewhere between 1 and 6 o'clock. Finals will likely be about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on that Sunday, simply because trying to get more of the world available to that time slot. If we had a 6 o'clock game, then Europe would get it at 12. Other parts of the world even later. 3 o'clock gives us a little bit of a gap, not a gap, but a little bit of a closer alignment to when it's the most appropriate time to view a game. So 3 o'clock on that Sunday. Okay. What can you do right now if you're a business or you're a cultural institution? This is by no means comprehensive. These are some ideas that we have aggregated for all different types of constituents that may be looking to take advantage of the fact that the world will be coming here. I think it's really important, and it may sound a little trite, but beautification and wayfinding to me is really, really critical. I also travel the country quite a bit and go into our other host cities, and I'm already seeing a lot of businesses are already using different types of signage to acknowledge of welcoming the world to their community, to their city. I've seen that in LA, seen it in San Francisco, a little bit in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is also leaning in because I failed to mention, as you guys all probably do know, next year is also a little bit of a birthday for us. It's also happening, 250th. And the tall ships are going to be here, Sailforth 250, from July 3rd to July 8th. So there's a lot going on. There's also Fleet Week is moved that week. So the city's going to have a lot going on next next July. Again, just some ideas. I won't get into it. It's designed to stimulate some thought about, okay, the what ifs. And I will also say this in our emails at the end of this presentation. Please let everybody know, never hesitate to reach out to us. We respond to every email, typically in 48 hours, okay? And these guys know, Ebony and Phil know how to get me. If I can help in any way, I had a similar call with the folks in Brooklyn about 2 months ago, and they'll tell you, we respond if there's questions. That's what we're designed to do. We're not the host committee for ourselves. We are the host committee for the 5 boroughs. So, let's go back one. Let's talk a little bit about, is that milestones? Yeah, here we go, milestones. This is actually a very important sheet. Let's go last bullet on the left column, December 5th. That's when the actual draw for all the nations, where they're going to be playing and when, will occur. And by the way, if anybody wants tickets, tomorrow is the day you go on FIFA tickets and it opens up.
What time?
Probably at 12:01. I would suggest, even though the odds are long because millions of people are going to sign up, but I would suggest if you have everybody in your family, you just need an email. Sign up. We did it in my family because I probably won't have enough tickets for everybody.
Sign up in advance?
Yeah, what you do is you express your interest, and then you sign up. If you get drawn, and you'll know. I think it takes. The open will be from September 10th to the 19th, and you'll know by the end of the month whether or not you got selected. I don't know what the costs are. It's dynamic pricing. Some tickets will be as low as $60. Some tickets will be as high as $6,000. Yeah, that's what I say too. Wow. But December 5th is an important date because that's when all the nations will not only know where they're going to be playing, but they also pick their base camps. So every nation will be coming to a certain part of the country, and that's home for as long as they're playing. Now, most of our base camps that we selected in this region happen to be New Jersey because the requirements are you have to have 2 soccer pitches that are made of grass and are of official FIFA length, dimensions. A lot of places have 1 pitch here in the city or one of the boroughs, but they're not real grass. And then you have to have the right kind of accommodations, almost like a dorm. So it looks like in New Jersey we'll be at Rutgers, which has a tremendous facility, and also where the Red Bull practice as well. Also a really good facility. I said to our friends at NYCFC, I said, yeah, we wish we're about 6 months too late because they would have had a base camp. So, but for the Women's World Cup, which is likely going to be here in 2031. So December 5th is a really critical date. More people, here's another great fact, more people watch the draw than they do the Super Bowl. Okay? Not here in the United States, but you add up, you do the aggregate of all the different countries around the world, more people will watch the draw. And it's terribly dull. But you know where your nations who have qualified, where they're going to play. I won't go through all the other milestones, but that was the one I wanted to share with you. Just for everybody, as I shared, our big investment is going to be we're doing in partnership with FIFA. It's the only one we're doing in partnership with FIFA. Everything else is on us. It's at Liberty State Park. It will be a massive undertaking. And again, we looked at a lot of different locations in the city. Of course, we looked at Central Park. We are doing something there, but not for 40 days. We are, in essence, getting the park at no charge because it is a New Jersey State Park. Now, we're building a lot of infrastructure, a lot of security, a lot of transportation around it, so our money is going into the foundational elements of the location, but it's the only one that we felt really captured what we wanted to do close to New York City, and of course the skyline behind us, Lady Liberty and Empire and Ellis Island. Again, leaning into what we're all about. Our logo, our motto, not our logo, our motto is "Welcome World." New York City is still going to welcome the world, regardless of what's happening in our world and other parts of the world. We just finished our Skyline to Shoreline Road Tour. Last week we were here in Queens, working with Councilmember Moya's opening school day, where we had about, I think, 3,000 or 4,000 kids, and that was great. And we've extended it to a couple more games, a couple more dates. We're going to be at Citi Field with the Mets, I think in a couple weeks before the season ends. But this gives you a sense of what we did. Also, how to get involved. Different ways that also you can, around, actual events, again, to stimulate thought. We're not saying that this is what you need to do, but this is how you could get involved. Again, more examples here, how the creativity of what we can do, what you can do in your community. Very important page right here, before I get into what we're doing in Queens. Public viewing events. Probably the biggest question we get, is what do I need to do if I want to take over a street, put up a screen, and broadcast the events? Depending on the type of event, depending on whether you charge or not charge, whether you want to have local sponsors or not, depends on whether you need to apply for a license. These are the three different options that FIFA has given us. So this is FIFA's rules of engagement, not the host committees, in terms of trying to help businesses, culturals, CVBs, whatever it may be, to define the type of viewing event you want to have. It is likely that unless it's a bar that is going to show, that already shows soccer or football on its screen, that you will likely have to apply for a license. And I even tell certain companies, when in doubt, apply, because the last thing you want to do is have an event and then a FIFA representative comes by and serves you an injunction and you have to take it down. A license could be as simple as $100, it could be as much as $1,000, and it covers you for the duration of when you want to have the viewing experience. But this is something they are really, really strict about. I had somebody in Manhattan yesterday send us an email that they want to, Lower Manhattan, they want to do a viewing party, and they wanted to do it with Nike. Well, Nike is a competitor to Adidas. Adidas spends about $120 million a year with FIFA. You have to list the sponsors. Like if you're going to do a watch party, and then you have to say, all right, how are you paying? On the form, who's paying for it? Is it free? Are consumers paying? Sponsors paying? So I told this woman, I said, I'm sorry, but you will likely be denied, because they're not going to let a competitor brand a FIFA event. Gives you a sense of how they're going to regulate this. And if I were FIFA, I'd do the same thing. Our sponsors for the host committee are going to be very protective of the money they're investing. That's what they're investing with us for. So the link, when you get this electronically, you'll see more information on what the form looks like and how to submit it. The portal to submit applications is not open yet. It will be open next month, fourth quarter. It's not a complicated form. It's the name of the event, how many people you expect, what are the mechanics of the operations, who's paying, is it free to consumers, is there a charge? And I just tell people, when in doubt, apply. Even if you think you may not need one, if you're going to do something out of the ordinary, even though it's free, even though it's less than 1,000 people, if it's not going to cost you a lot of money, if it's a couple $100, why wouldn't you want to do that? Okay? So that's a very important page. I'm going to skip a couple here because I want to get into Queens. All right, because we published this before we confirmed everything in Queens. So we are going to be, and it's not in here, and we do have updated information. We're going to be at the tennis center for about 3 weeks, and now we may be there for the entire 39 days, from June 11th through the 18th, not the 19th. We're going to be at the Louis Armstrong Stadium, and we're going to take that over, and we're working with this office, working with Ebony and Phil and others to curate uniquely Queens culture, food, so that this fan engagement doesn't look like anything we're doing in other boroughs. We think it's going to be an epic experience. I had the good fortune to be there a couple times, not last week, but the week before, and also at Fan Engagement Week, Family Week, I should say. And you guys have all probably been there many, many more times than I have, but the Louis Armstrong Stadium is a perfect venue for what we want to do. And it's going to be open not just when we have matches, but it'll be open every day. And I imagine because of this diversity of this in this community, that you could have two teams. You could have Chile versus Panama or Portugal, and the stadium would be full. And that's what we want. And we want people to show up. We want it to be a destination. It's an official host city event. So this is something that the host committee is paying for. Yes, we do hope to have some support through sponsors, but we're looking at the mechanics of keeping it open for the duration, short of 1 day, and working with the tennis center and their folks, and we're getting a good deal. Yes, it's not inexpensive, but we're getting a pretty good deal, and the feedback that we've had has been amazing. So you can lock that in from June 11th through July 18th. It's at least, hopefully through July 18th, at least through July 2nd, we will be at the tennis center here. Additionally, I've been spending a lot of time on the phone with Councilman Moya. He really wants to do some kind of grassroots initiative at the park. And we're trying to figure that out and how that could look with New Jersey to maybe have a cross-river competition for kids. And we've actually talked to Adidas about that as well. So,
Flushing Meadow Park, just to be clear?
yes,
Flushing
yes, correct,
Meadow Park.
correct, yes. So we have a lot planned for this borough, as we should, as we should. That is hopefully you've seen this around. This is our official poster. And it came out in May, I believe. But again, more ways to celebrate what we're doing with your community. More ideas on sports and wellness. Again, obviously, at the end of the day, we want to have people, moving around. Logo and branding. Again, pretty boring, but pretty important as it relates to what you need to do around logos and IP. And again, if you want to connect with us, you can reach us at that email. We also have a contact form that's linked to this deck. Where we respond, okay? We do respond because we have to respond. So don't be shy. I know these guys aren't shy. And we appreciate that.
Yeah, could I frame some more things around
please.
the seven train idea? So I want to kind of add some context around that. So I flew out to Davos, Switzerland at the World Economic Forum and stood in front of billionaires about access in the Queen, specifically regarding tech and innovation. And when I finished explaining the data around Queens, the most diverse place to live on the planet, there is no other place like it. The 7 train has been stamped by the National Geographic magazine as the most diverse transportation in the world. That is a case statement. I had billionaires looking at me like this and tilting their head like, no one's ever positioned that. How amazing is that? Like, we had no clue.
Not the NWQ. I'm
Yeah. So, well, okay. So they hadn't heard it. So I'm framing that to come back into the 7 train being the most diverse transit in the entire world, where you can hit every country in the entire world and not bat an eye. You talk about the World Cup, the world's Borough, the World Train. That's a huge initiative. And so I think in our conversations with Bruce, we're really thinking about framing and curating how we open access to Queens via the 7 train, it being the world's Borough, it's stopping it near Flushing Meadow, Coronas Park, and that sort of thing. So the idea is to try to curate an opportunity where funding supports that along that 7 train, where there's access and activation with the park, with the Live Nation, et cetera, happening along that 7 train during that week. And then thinking about the bounce back or kickback to that in how we support organizations, soccer fields, infrastructure, that sort of thing in Queens, with that being the massive connectivity, and framing that work in a way that I don't think anybody in the world can do but Queens. There is no one in the world that can do that but Queens. And so in that case statement, we're working with Bruce right now to try to figure out what that means in curation, how we curate that in a way that really speaks economic development along that 7 train and beyond. And then the 7 train kind of goes to the E, goes to the F, goes to et cetera, et cetera. What that looks like in framing watch parties and connecting with your nation on nation. Who else is going to be able to do that but the 7 train? If I'm flying over here from Columbia, I can go right on that 7 train and find people that look like me, that talk like me, that are like me. If I'm flying in from Tibet, I can go along that 7 train and find people that look like me, that talk like me, et cetera. And so I think we have this is serious. When you say this is bigger than the Super Bowl, it is. But Queens is even bigger in this case statement because of what we have to offer and what we can do and how we can curate a lot differently than any other borough. Yes, I get it. You got to go to other boroughs. There's other places. There's New Jersey, but Queens is the epicenter in all essence. Yeah.
Please.
So I am a soccer mom. Here you are. I am a soccer mom, a lifelong soccer fan, and I am also a district manager for the community boards. And in addition to that, my background is marketing. So you have threefold here. So I cover Astoria, Queens, which is right next to the 7 train, the N, the W, the Q. We have 115 languages spoken in our community. We have Astoria Park, which is our central park. It is one of the most activated parks next to Flushing Meadows. And we have a soccer field in the middle. We do have a half pitch. We have Astoria houses, Ravenswood, Queensbridge, and Woodside. We need the half pitches in our community. We have a view of Manhattan that is idyllic. And to put one of those soccer pitches, let's say at possibly Queensbridge Park, and I feel like my district keeps getting overlooked in all of this new development. There is no better place. I have 900 liquor licenses. DOT must be activated to move their backside on the unenclosed sidewalk cafes. I have some 700 outdoor dining opportunities. I have an immense amount of hotels. So when people are coming from all over the world, they cannot necessarily afford Manhattan. So where are they going to fall? They have to fall here in Queens. And in those areas, we're going to need work done, like yesterday, because, I mean, we can offer you everything you need. Business opportunities are immense. I mean, and as I said, 115 different languages. At least out of those 26 pitches, I'd like to get 10. I'm very selfish. But it's a necessity. I mean, we have St. Michael's soccer field, which you could utilize for the children here in Queens to come and to play. It's amazing. They just redeveloped it, what, a year ago? A year ago. So, I mean, you have a lot of opportunity in Astoria, Queens, so Please do not leave us off the table.
Let me make sure I get your email, and I'll send you
Not a problem.
what the requirements are that we look for to putting in a pitch, so you understand.
I will sit with you with Parks Department tomorrow if you want. Tomorrow with Parks Department, not a problem. I've been begging for this for years. If I had my way, I'd be the commissioner of soccer when we get the field here. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Congratulations on bringing the World Cup to the world's borough. We appreciate it. What is being done with the local police department to ensure the safety and security while we have the influx of visitors?
Good question. A very good question. So we're working hand in hand with NYPD, New Jersey State Police. We have a director of security. He's a retired New Jersey State Police officer, working very closely with PD. We've been working with them probably for the last 2.5 years. And we've just unveiled, all the citywide engagements because they were really waiting for the host committee to tell them where we're going to be. We also have other activations in the city. We will likely be at Rockefeller Center. We also will likely be in Central Park, and we may do something under the Brooklyn Bridge Park. So we've been coordinating with them on everything as it relates to what it takes to secure these, what we call soft locations. The stadium will be probably the safest place you ever want to be. They rate all the matches. Our matches are equivalent to a Super Bowl in terms of that security. And so we're not worried about the stadium. I don't say we're worried, but we're putting our energies into Liberty State Park. We're working with the Tennis Center on their security plan, which I think is pretty good. Central Park, of course, and Manhattan. But we have a whole task force based on security. And I've had probably 4 meetings personally with police at their headquarters at JOC to look at what we're doing, how we're staffing command centers for those 40 days. So there, as I said, the 2 pillars for us, 4 pillars, but the 2 key pillars in those 4, safety, security, and mobility.
Just my only concern would be pulling police officers from my local precinct to Manhattan when we have the increase of watch parties and local bars. So if you could try to mitigate those resources, that's the only concern that I would have.
And one of the other thing that we're trying to do with watch parties that we're not running, but places that are asking for public viewing licenses to get a sense on for the police where they need to be. That's really critical because we will not. Obviously, we have a handful that we're responsible for, and while we are encouraging viewing experiences, public viewing experiences, they do become a load factor issue for PD all over the city. So sometimes you're going to be careful what you wish for.
Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thanks again for the amazing presentation. I'm really excited about this. I am Lovely Tejada. I'm a representative from the New York Immigration Coalition, and we are a statewide organization representing over 200 member organizations, but about 2/3 of that is here in New York City. And obviously, I think that one of the greatest things that we take pride in is our diverse membership, in par with how diverse Queens is and what this entails in terms of an opportunity. So immediately I'm thinking about like pushing this toolkit out to our membership, particularly, all the New York City folks, and finding an opportunity to maybe sit down with the borough president's office, with you all, to see how we uplift, the work that's already being done by our community members and our community organizations in Queens. And ensuring that we get on the calendar, that we're promoting and uplifting some of the work. So I just wanted to say that you have a reliable partner here in the NYIC, and we can definitely, extend that partnership to our members also.
That's great. And honestly, the confidence that I have working with this office, especially these 2, assures me that, they're all also thinking of you and your efforts. Because we're trying to make our outreach as efficient and effective as possible, and go to where the people are, And, you know, this office does that,
Right.
so.
Guess one of the questions I had, is there going to be a centralized website for everything? And will it be done, so what if we want to do a Queens-based page? Where to go in Queens?
Yeah.
Is there a partnership with organizations like a QEDC possible? What does that sort of look
So
like?
we're working, it's funny, we are, our new website will launch probably in the next month. We're working very closely with NYC Tourism, who are aggregating all the information about all the boroughs. They're our source of truth. Now, I'm biased because I used to work there.
I'm a board member.
Yeah, I think that's where we originally met. So yes, I would make sure that, and listen, there's nobody better, I think, again, bias, to reflect the beauty of the 5 boroughs at NYC Tourism. They're not Manhattan-centric. They try not to be, because they know that there's a lot of other territory other than Manhattan. So I'd suggest whomever is the point of contact here with NYC Tourism, that you stay connected. And they're also, I will also say, they're also doing some magnificent work around aggregating content for the 5 boroughs as well. So.
If I could add.
Good. I thought she was talking to me. It's like,
Oh, yeah, sorry. Hi, everybody. I'm Phil Ballman, Director of Cultural Affairs and Tourism for the Borough President. A Deputy Borough President and I have already met a few times with QEDC. We are going to be partnering with them and developing a Queens-centric marketing plan. The 7 Train campaign that the Deputy Borough President referred to is intended to drive visitors who are going to be attending the fan engagement events at Flushing Meadows to our local restaurants, to the incredible diversity of cultures and cuisines and cultural opportunities that we have along the 7 Train. And we're working with the Chamber of Commerce on that as well, with Tom Gretsch, and we'd love to work with all of you with the bids, because as the Deputy Borough President said, this is an unparalleled opportunity. Queens really does represent the world, and we want people to have a real, what we think is an incredible New York authentic experience that they're going to love, and they can only get that in Queens. So we're working hard on that.
And can I add real quick that the sponsors in that are really enticed by it because of Queens, and they want to contribute to this, or the folks that we've kind of vetted a bit and been talking to, which helps us in turn to really kick back money and funding like we couldn't before, because they value the proposition of Queens, because we are the world's borough.
And then Bruce, I just had one other question. Is it possible, this is great information, but I feel like we need a Queens-centered informational session on this. Is that possible to do? Where we can invite the business, nonprofits, and speak of the opportunity. We could host it here if you want. I don't know if you need a bigger venue, but we could hold 300 people downstairs. So
Love
let's
to do
think
that.
about something like that so we can make sure that this information is getting out. Florence? Yeah, wait, Mike. Everybody use a mic too, please.
So I bring it back. Astoria comes off the 7 Train to the N and the W. Again, I repeat, we have 900 liquor licenses in Astoria. We have 115 languages spoken, and we have an immense amount of hotels. And as I'm listening, I'm feeling like my district is going to be left out, and there's no reason that it should be.
Well,
We
we're
need-
just starting the conversation
We
today, so
need,
nobody's.
yeah, I understand. I understand, but it always, it'll encircle the tennis stadium. It'll encircle, Flushing Meadow Park. We have with Giovanna, we have the airport, and then what happens is it's going to start going east. It's not going to come west. And I would
Purpose of
love-
today is to get that in. I don't want to put that out there. The purpose of today is to get the information out and to also make sure, that's why I requested the information session. So when that information session comes, it'll be your responsibility to get the word out to your bid and to everybody else.
Understood.
I don't do philosophical. So there's enough for for everyone to benefit here. That's why we would build out an independent Queen-based page, and then people will have their right to go where they want.
gosh.
But absolutely, Corona should be centered in this conversation, and I will just make that clear because they're not centered in a lot of the conversations, even with the USTA, which I'm not happy with. Corona must not be left out. So that's my bottom line. Everybody else can benefit, but Corona will not be left out of this conversation. The people of Corona. I'm just putting it clear and making it plain. Everybody can benefit, but the people of Corona must benefit. Rockaway Beach should benefit too. I don't know if the beach is open. I mean, but we want to make sure Corona is centered.
Hi, good morning. So, good morning, Mr. President. I remember working with you. My name is Claudette Ramos. I'm from the Commissioner's Office, Parks Department. This is my first meeting, so I'm excited
Welcome.
I'm also a soccer mom and a football mom. I played soccer when I was in high school. I'm originally from Belize, Central America, and my son played for the Ohio State football team. So this is exciting for me that this is on the agenda for this morning. And I will take this information back to the Parks Department, to the Commissioner. We're excited. And I know some parks were mentioned earlier, Queensbridge Park and other parks. So we'll definitely be a part of this conversation. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you very much for holding this meeting. I'm looking forward to further discussions. I'm the district manager of Community Board 3, covering East Elmhurst, Jackson Heights, and North Corona. So I'm very much interested in what develops from here, and I look forward to larger discussions where we can include every aspect of the community. I think this is a wonderful thing that's going to happen. Thank you.
Marie.
Hi, I'm from Community Board 8. I don't see anyone here from Department of Sanitation, but no one wants to come to a town if it's dirty, if the center medians are not taken care of. So I'm glad to hear at least that sanitation started spraying medians like they used to do years ago. I was hoping someone would be here from sanitation, and that's very important for our queens to look clean and well maintained, because no one wants to sit outdoors to eat and then they have garbage instead of flowers. So that's a push that I want us to do with sanitation, making sure that they have the community look clean and well.
Well, they're testing, and our median is actually where we live at, because we're neighbors, is actually the test case. So they're going to be using some different spray. I think, I don't know if y'all have more of an update on it, but that will be happening soon. So we expect for sanitation to actually roll out a new product that they hope will help alleviate a lot of the weed growth in the long term.
And since last year when you had the press conference, I know it was terrible last year, they are doing better this year, but they are not up to the standards that we want in Queens. So they're going to have to do even better.
We need more manpower. That's the problem.
Yes.
That's the big problem right now. There's just not enough staff to maintain. And that unit was cut, and then subsequently we're told that some money was put back, so they're still not at 100%. So we give 200 locations, and we got to wait as those updates are given to us. I've got to see where they're at in the borough, but I'm surprised Antonio's not here. But yes, Antonio has sent weekly updates to us on what they are doing. But I agree. And maybe there's some private philanthropy that could look at, maybe there's some organizations that the Doe Fund or ACE can receive some subsequent funding as well, right? So we're not just banking on sanitation through this process. So that's the point of this conversation today, to sort of start thinking about how can we strengthen the borough for this huge economic opportunity.
We can also piggyback with DEP on the rain gardens. They're looking very, very shabby. Mostly weeds, no flowers. Very, very shabby. Will do. But, it's not just my district, it's other districts as well. So, can't you send out people to go around and look as an enforcement team because of this? Because, weeds 4 feet high kind of stuff. Just saying.
No, thanks for the point. We do have a regular cadence that goes around the whole borough, the whole city, but for our purposes, the borough. But the advantage with our relationship is if you see any particular locations that have been egregious, that have particular unique issues, which those pop up every now and then, send those locations to me and we can get teams out there. And then there are some places where the growth. We do need some growth because the plants absorb all the water. They're doing their job, but we want to make sure that areas that have overgrowth. We also partner with DSNY and also with the community where there's areas that there's just trash being dumped in there. We flag those for our partners too. So just send us locations, send us photos. As always, that's my scratch record. Send us photos if you can.
Could you talk a little bit about the criteria that you're looking for the mini pitches that FIFA is willing to install in our public parks? Does it have to be on something that's already a blacktop, or could it be on a field, or what are you guys looking for?
Yeah, one thing I want to correct you. This is us installing, not FIFA. It's the host committee. FIFA has nothing to do with this. They are doing legacy, but not like this. The main thing is it has to be reasonably level. It can go on an existing structure that overlays, if it's an existing soccer field. It can be blacktop. The structure is built so that there's almost like a base, and then you lay this. I forget the name of the exact type of material, but you lay it up right on top of the surface. Main thing is more the levelness of this is the most critical part. Yeah, it's. I'll send when I send the link to. It's fascinating to see. We actually we work with the U.S. Soccer Foundation, which has been around for a while. They worked with NYCFC on building mini pitches.
So it's like a raised bed.
Yeah, it's not.
Kind of rubberized material.
Yeah, it's and it's like a. Yeah. Now. The treatment and the materials have improved dramatically because one of the issues we had, they did a lot with parks over the years, and they didn't last. I think the 5 or 6 years. These have to last 10 years, and then it comes with some lights, so it can be played at night, and it also comes with fencing around it. That's not so. It's a mini pitch. Again, it's about the size of a basketball court or a tennis court. Okay. It's not a full size, but it comes with the goals. I don't know if it comes with the benches or not. I can't recall. So we're doing 26. Some are already spoken for because we have some donors who want to be in certain parts of the city. We're not trying to stay away completely from Manhattan, and most of them, if not all, will be built in the spring. That's the goal. The goal is this fall to identify where they need to be. Now they have to be funded. We're doing pretty good, so we can't. Everyone we build comes with a funding mechanism, but we've negotiated the price down, so it's not unreasonable. We feel really good about being able to do 26.
How many are you proposing?
26.
26.
And we'll probably have more on the New York City side than 26 for the region.
Okay.
Probably more on the New York City side because there's more need. It is harder to install. As I said, we've been working with DOE, and we've identified a lot of different sites, but some we just won't work because it's almost impossible to build where they are. They're the backyards of an old school in the Bronx, but they're raised, and to get the equipment there, it's hard. So the best is good access, a level area. That's really it.
Do you have an email address where we can reach out to you about this?
Yeah.
Just send it to the
Yeah,
group.
I'll send it to the group.
And I was going to say, you're only doing schools, or could you do
No,
parks?
we'll
Because
do
I think talking to Parks Department,
Yeah,
they'll
well,
be
the only
able to-
problem with parks we've found is the parks is being a little bit restrictive on putting a donor logo on it. They do not want donor logos. They'll put our logo on it, but if a donor has a logo, schools have no problem with that. And listen, I have my personal opinion that if you're improving something that needs improvement and the donor is a best-in-class brand or just a donor, then I think it's hard to say no, but we have to go by what the city says is doable.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Just for reference, in Astoria, we had a half pitch underneath the Tri-Borough Bridge, and they did allow the logos. I don't know if you were borough president at the time. I'm not certain. It might have been right before. But they did allow the logo, so there may be a way around it.
Yeah, I know Parks is very apprehensive. But DOE, yes.
DOE is much more amenable.
Trying to think, are there cultural, like, the community centers you can work with?
Yeah, it's,
Right.
and we also try to marry it with coaching, and, you know, you can't just build something and assume that it's going to solve a problem. We build and we provide coaching through the U.S. Soccer Foundation. It's a wonderful program, wonderful program.
All right, any other questions, comments, or concerns? Mark, just wait for the mic.
Hi again. This is awesome for New York. Do you have logos that people can put on windows or hand out or just carry on like keychains or something like that to promote it?
Yeah, in the toolkit, you'll see that we also have a foundation logo called Welcome World, and that's the logo that we're allowing people to use. The logo, we are going to have the World Cup logo on different items, but we will produce that. The Welcome World logo, which, as I said, well, it's a 501c3, is a logo that we're allowing people to do like decals on windows and things like that. And it's in the toolkit.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions, comments, or concerns on this issue? All right, seeing none, we'll go to agency presentation. Thank you, Bruce. Look forward to continued partnership. Thank you. Agency updates. Don't all be shy. Wait for the mic, only because we're streaming. That's the we need mic.
Good morning, everyone. Kevin Morris, Queens Borough Director for the Mayor's Community Affairs Unit. Just one very quick announcement. The mayor, in coordination with the school chancellor, recently announced that this coming year we will be adding 350,000 public school students with new internet-capable laptops. So this is part of our effort to continue to better the efforts of increasing information and trying to close the gap in education amongst our New York City public schools. So we don't know yet where all the computers are going to be going. You can reach out to our press team for more information on that, but it's part of our effort to make sure that we are creating equity across the city.
Thank you. Morning, everyone. DOT is in the spirit of back to schools. So DOT is pleased to announce that that this month we are launching a record of about 75 school open streets across the city. Open streets at the schools in collaboration where local schools request temporary closures of the streets on their frontage to help with things like pickup and drop off, recess, outdoor learning, and play. Just wanted to give that quick update.
And how would schools know they can apply for the open street? Is there information on that?
Yes.
Or flyer?
There's a flyer. We also have, I think it's like a seasonal/rotational application window that the schools can then apply or reach out to our online, reach out to it through our website online, and then they can apply, and then pretty much goes to our open streets team, and then go from there.
You want to make sure we get that information and we can put it out to the principals, just in case. Yeah. Felicia?
I have a question.
Yes.
Here you are. Oh, thank you. Sorry. So have the schools already been designated, or you're saying that it's open now for schools to apply? Like, have you picked schools already and they've been notified and schools can still apply, or?
I can check to see if it's still open for schools to apply right now, given that school year just started. But right now, there's about 75 schools in the system already using the program.
So if you haven't gotten notification,
You might not be
then
already,
within your
but some schools are
district,
still in the process of working with our teams to probably open up till the next season. So I'm not sure what school you might be speaking of, but you can send it to me and we can
any
work
school,
with them.
can we just get a list of the schools? Is that possible?
Yeah, I can find out if that's
It's
possible.
75, so that's not a lot. If you could just
for sure.
send a list?
No
Okay.
worries.
Along with the application information, so we can send that out to our education committee.
No worries.
Thank you.
Good morning, Sam Schechter from Department of Buildings. Want to mention that the Get Sheds Down initiative of the mayor is now ramped up. As you may know, and as I've heard from many people here, the sheds around the city have, many of them been up for quite a number of time. And the way they look, it's dark, drab, and they attract not the right crowd. So we are trying to have a we create initiative here to actually make permits have been actually cut down from about a year to less. We're issuing criminal summonses for those that are up there for quite a while, and we will allow right now the only legal color, actually August 15th, they've changed that. The legal color was hunter green. Now there are other more, attractive types of colors. And the height of the sheds will go up to 12 feet. And the illumination will be, they have to increase the lumens. So, we're looking forward to this, bringing this blight, removing it or definitely reducing it.
Okay, any other agency updates?
Thank you. Dustin with New York City Emergency Management. Just wanted to remind everybody this is National Preparedness Month. We are currently in the process of scheduling some small 5 to 10 minute presentations with community boards around the city around flooding and coastal storm season. And we'll soon be working on scheduling similar types of presentations for winter weather as we move to doing a little bit more of a campaign style awareness for different hazards throughout the year. So some of you may have heard from me already, some of you may have not, but I'm in the process of trying to work through all the community boards across the city on this, so please be patient. Or if you'd like to schedule something directly, I have some cards with me today, and I can leave those here. Yeah.
Good morning. I'm sorry, I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed because that agency was supposed to present to our community board tonight, and yesterday they canceled. And we know that we're coming into our hurricane season, and we know that the peninsula is a primary flood zone. So I just want to voice my disappointment. The community board hosted a disaster preparedness event ourselves, and we're trying to restart our CERT team. Since Dr. Williams passed, we haven't had a CERT team, and so we need 30 people in order for them to bring the training to Rockaway, because otherwise the training's in Brooklyn, and we know that the transportation issues in Rockaway, so we're trying to get that done. We'll talk about it again tonight. But once again, I'm going to continue to ask that they please consider the signage, even though we're being told that they don't feel that we need signage, but we have thousands of units of housing and new people that have never lived in Rockaway, that don't know Rockaway, that may not necessarily have access to just look up what they think may be considered a disaster plan or an evacuation plan. But to my knowledge, we really don't have the evacuation plan or the signage, and I'm going to continue to advocate for that for my community. And the fact that at the last minute that they canceled, so tomorrow the mayor's office of religious and community affairs. They're doing one on Beach 94th Street. And they called me yesterday and they opened it up to the community. First it was just for religious leaders. So we're going to take whatever we can get, how we can get it, but we need an evacuation plan.
OEM?
Yeah, apologies for the cancellation. What we're currently doing is we're working with our local CERT teams to actually do some of these presentations because we want our CERT teams to be involved and for the community boards to get to know them better. Unfortunately, they weren't able and available tonight, and I am not available myself tonight, so we had to cancel that specific
So
presentation.
you'll be there for October
I'll reschedule. Absolutely.
Even though
Absolutely.
October is. Well, we passed legislation. OEM has an evacuation plan. They just have to share it. But they're required by law to have that. We passed that going back, I think, right after Sandy. Yeah, so yeah, OEM definitely has,
There's a citywide plan.
Citywide, right.
But there's not necessarily
but you
a
want a more
community.
localized plan.
And I can have somebody reach out to you to try and do something very locally. But again, I don't control the signage. I know every time I come, that comes up. That's
Been talking about this for 20
yeah.
years, but we're going to keep beating the drum.
And that's totally fine, but that is that's something I can't do for you guys. But again, I can reschedule, and we're going to continue this. I know that just timing sometimes is awful in my
Listen,
vacation time.
Felicia, we got the beach open in the 40s, right? That took 30 years. Without struggle, there could be no progress. So we're going to keep fighting. Thank you, Parks Department.
And Felicia, you have my number directly,
progress.
so please call me whenever you need to. Thank you.
Florence? Mike?
I just want to reiterate before we close the meeting related to the soccer. DOT is way behind on the outdoor dining, and it's going to be very impactful. I'm averaging 30 to 32 a month coming in. We have the most in Queens, and they're not processing the paperwork.
Oh, you mean people applying to?
People
for the
are
open
applying for the restaurants to have either sidewalk or street cafes, and during the World Cup, we're the hub for food. We are the biggest borough. And we're going to have people from all over the world, and the cafes are not going to have their licenses. They're not going to be able to be up and running. So I really think that, with your pressure and your experience, we can get DOT to do what they need to do to move forward to help our businesses. And I'm asking you kindly, please push stuff Western Queens. Don't let things just go east. We need the business. You know what Steinway Street is like. I'm going to be with you shortly. Please.
Thank you.
Just real quick, just because it's the first meeting back after the summer, I want to thank everybody. We were able to visit all the community boards and a couple of briefs here with the BP with our Flood 101, with our first ever Flood 101 for the whole borough. So that was great. We're looking to do something similar with a different message here in the coming months. So I'll be I'll be bugging you guys all again for more time. To the earlier point, if there's any issues with anything from the rain gardens to the day-to-day stuff that you see in the neighborhood, let us know. But just really want to thank you all for the partnership.
Thank you. We relatively had a good summer. No incidents. All right, thank you all for coming. I will see you all at the next borough cabinet, which is. Oh, one more. Oh, my bad.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Mikhail. I'm here with the Department of Finance. At the end of the month, just wanted to share quickly, at the end of the month, we'll be reopening our online portal for low-income seniors or persons with disabilities who are homeowners to apply to reduce their property taxes. So later on in the year, we will be back with a more formal presentation to elaborate more on the eligibility requirements, but some of your homeowners who are familiar with the program may go ahead and do that. And we're always open to your inquiries in any ways that we can help support you and empower you to assist your constituents. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Seeing no other questions, comments, or concerns, we'll see you on Tuesday, October 21st at 9:30 a.m. Enjoy the rest of your day.